I was the cool black kid. You know what I'm saying? Like the best at basketball. You know what I'm saying? I was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and Cerritos. You know what I'm saying? But when they moved us to Compton, it's like I was the square. You know what I'm saying? They go to Oreo. You know what I mean?
It's the Prodcast with Prodigy. It's the Prodcast with Prodigy. It's the Prodcast with Prodigy. My podcast.
Yo, what's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Prodcast with Prodigy, brought to you by What's Good Entertainment. Before we start, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, do all that. We like to see if you guys like our stuff. Tell me what you guys think of the past episodes, this episode, all that good stuff. But anyways, we're gonna get straight into it. Today we got another special guest, an overall great person. I want to introduce my boy Justified. How you doing, brother?
Man, blessed to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's a blessing to have you here. Hey, last time we saw you, we were out in Lancaster kicking it with you and Corrupt. You gave my pops Flossie the Boss that Fathers of Hip Hop Award,
yes,
bro.
Sir. Yes, sir, man. Had to do it. We just like to acknowledge, the fathers, not only in the industry, but fathers, period, that are setting up legacies for their children and doing the right thing. And it was a no-brainer when I first met your pops and we were talking and he told me about the podcast and, you being his son. I'm like, bro, that's very father and hip hop-ish. So it was a no-brainer when it came to, bringing him out to the Corrupt event and honoring him like that.
Yeah, bro, it was tight. That was like I've never really been to an event like that because, first of all, I've never even been to Lancaster before. Like, I've never,
right.
We rarely go out to like the high desert and stuff like that. But it was crazy because like the event turned out super good. And for the people that don't know where like Lancaster is, it's kind of like middle of nowhere. There's not a whole bunch of stuff going on. It's not no LA for sure. Yeah. Nothing like that. But
LA County, but definitely not like LA.
At all. But yeah, it was crazy. It turned out real good. Hundreds, thousands of people pulled out and stuff like that. And tell me about the event because like I said before, it's not a place that I would normally go to. Like driving up to it, it's like we were almost confused. It's like, is this the actual event?
Right. And that's coming from a distance, but there is a community there. In Lancaster, they got a lot of residents out there and they want things to do. They need things of that nature to come to their city for them to be able to come to. And it brings business to their community, period. And we got to highlight a lot of the local vendors. They got to come out in front of a crowd and introduce their products to new people. And so, it's an area, it's up in the desert area. And, we just trying to do things to build up communities by bringing events like that to the community. So, it might have been, you think, oh, it'd be better if we did in LA or Hollywood here and there. That's true. But we're still trying to build up those areas so they can have something to do and also bring something that's going to bring people from other places like you guys came, drove through a whole lot of nothing to get there. So, that was a good look that we created something to draw people. And that's what we're trying to do with these smaller communities out there in the high desert.
Yeah, it's cool. I totally get it. Like, imagine there's only so many things you could do around there with like everything being kind of spread apart and stuff like that. It's tight. Appreciate you guys, inviting us over and stuff like that. Always love to like come out to events with my pops and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's dope. I mean, and to have a pops that you could do that with, that's like a real blessing that, I'm sure you do, but definitely count that as a blessing because, you got somebody in your corner that's for you and with you and making a way for you. And that's really what fatherhood is about. So to see it in the heart of the industry, that's always moving for me. That's why a lot of the people that we recognize are artists and industry people because you don't see that side of these people in the industry. You just see the lights, camera, action, but never really get to dig into their real life and what their fatherhood is like. So I'm glad I met you guys and got to see father in hip hop really being a father in hip hop,
Yeah. Appreciate it again. So I wanted to ask you have you been like previously like connected to like places like Lancaster and the high desert, or was that just some place that you knew that was like not popping as much as like other cities?
Well, I moved up to the high desert in Victorville back in 2004. So I've been up there a while. Yeah. And at that point I was really just an artist and I was selling my CDs out the trunk and, getting myself familiar with the people in the community by being out there like that. And then I moved into doing events, promoting events and things of that. So it's really one of those not where you're from, but where you're at type of situations for me because I grew up in Compton, but I've been in Victorville for so long. Is I want to bring something to the community that I'm living in, the place that I'm raising my children in. I want to build there instead of, oh, it's dusty out here, I'm going to go down here. You know what I mean? So I just really been trying to put on for where I'm at. And that's why a lot of our stuff takes place in the high desert, because that's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's tight. That's tight. I always got to represent where you're from, represent your city and stuff like that.
Real talk.
It's tight. Bring up never know, start popping up in the high desert and stuff like that.
Hey, we've come a long way, the high desert. Like I said, I've been up there a while, and then I had even visited family before that. And it's a lot. It's a lot of people moving there. Of course, the housing is more affordable. It's even kind of getting high out there, but it's more affordable than other places. And a lot of people are coming there. So we want to be able to provide some entertainment and something for them to do, especially with gas so high right now.
Oh, I know.
It's like, man, you got to jump and travel an hour and a half to get to some excitement. And we want to, give the community and the people out in that area an opportunity to do something locally. And, it's a struggle because so many out there are from LA, so they don't mind coming back to LA, to do stuff. So it's like, what do we bring to these areas that make them want to stay at home and support the stuff in their community? So, it's an uphill climb, but we moving.
Yeah. I respect it, bro. It's hustling for real, starting from the bottom.
Yes, sir.
Bringing it back up. So let's talk about fathers in hip hop. So obviously you're a big deal in this. Are you the founder of Fathers in Hip Hop?
Yes, sir. So
when did this idea of starting this whole movement, this whole brand come up to you?
Unfortunately, it was something that came out of some pain, and that was when I lost my mom and my wife back to back in 2013, 2014, and being in a position to raise my two daughters. As a single father in hip hop, it was, speculated, oh, you're not going to be able to do these events and take care of these girls. You need to let them come with us. And it's like, man, how can I even consider letting my children go somewhere else out of state? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And not live up to what my responsibility was. So that was my experience with kind of being a father in hip hop, but not calling it that. That was just what was being done.
Yeah.
And upon having conversations with other people in the industry, like how I chopped it up with your father, we start talking about being fathers. And I'm like, this would be dope if we could bring this conversation, to the world, to a bigger platform. Because when you think of hip hop, when you think of rappers, your first thought is their fathers. Yeah, it's either they're gangsters, pimps, hustlers, thugs, money, bitches. You know what I mean? So I wanted to be able to bring that conversation and that topic, to the forefront. And that's kind of where the concept of Fathers in Hip Hop began. That was the first thought, fathers in hip hop. I'm about to interview all the fathers in hip hop and let the world know that we out here. And then it just gradually started to grow as God started revealing more layers to me of what I was supposed to do. So it's still a work in progress, but I've seen where we've come in maybe 4 years from before I even had merchandise with Fathers in Hip Hop on it. It was just, a thought, and I went and trademarked it, and you know what I mean? Yeah. And now we're a nonprofit, and it's like, I see the growth, and I'm still trying to grow it more so we can do more.
Yeah. Hey, perfect takes time,
Man.
But hey, that's tight though, because now that you say it, you don't really hear it very often. Sometimes you hear it a little bit, rappers or people in hip hop will mention I remember Young Thug in one of his songs in the beginning, his intro is I don't remember how many kids he has. He's I'm the father of 6 babies or something and stuff like that. But I feel like that's a big deal, for especially for rappers like that. Normally you wouldn't think of Young Thug taking care of his kids and stuff like that, doing what he's doing. But really what he is, he's rapping, making money so he can support them kids.
And that's why we like to salute those that are doing that. Because it's so easy to be distracted in Hollywood and entertainment. It's easy to lose sight of family and values. You know what I mean? So to be able to root yourself in that and still take care of that while you're pursuing everything else, I mean, it's a big thing to juggle. You know what I mean? So you got to salute those that are doing that. You know what I mean? You got cats like Ice Cube. Look at what he's built, has opened up for his children. His son is starring in movies playing him. You know what I mean? Yeah. So he headed his business. He allowed hip hop to make a way for him to take care of his family. And there's so many that you can name. Master P, what he's done, what he's built, you know, for Lil Romeo to have a chance. Even his son is playing basketball. A father sets up a path for his children. So it's a lot of great men. Snoop, you know, has created a lane for his children.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Your father's creating a lane for you. You know what I mean? So that's big. I want to be able to create something that my daughters can walk into based on the trail that I blaze. So, you know, you gotta show love to them fathers that's handling their business.
For sure. Respect up to all the fathers, for sure.
Real talk.
But does father in hip hop, do you guys like ever like take the meaning more to like fathers of hip hop, like the people that, you know, like shaped hip hop, or is it more just like, you know, like actual like pops?
I think it's easily misinterpreted as that sometimes. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? They think about, oh, the fathers, they started hip hop.
Yeah, the OGs.
I get it. But that's really not the depths of what it is. It can be acknowledged as that, but it's really completely targeted towards fathers.
Just fathers in general, not
baby daddies that's handling their business. You know what I'm saying? That's what our goal, that's what our focus is on. And I get it, you know, that why one might think that that's what it is, because they can't be talking about being parents to their kids. They have to be talking about, we started this gangster shit. Nah, man. We really about the fathers and fatherhood and being able to identify and provide resources and tools for men to be better fathers, give them the game. You know what I mean? And because not everybody was blessed to have an active father. So it's some men with kids out here that's walking around lost. They have no idea what it takes to be a father because they never experienced it. So if we can implement that conversation into the music and into the podcast and into the media, then, you know, I think we're doing a good thing, and it's going to have to be respected because we're not going to stop until we reach what we're trying to do.
Yes, sir. I also think it's like, it kind of helps if people think that way, because who knows, like somebody could be like interested, be like, oh yeah, I want to learn about the OGs in the game. Right. And then they find out it's like, oh damn, this is like actual like pops and stuff. I feel like people would be surprised by that. But if it were me, I'd be like interested. I'd be like, yeah, oh, damn, who's this fool?
And we keep getting new concepts, and I'm being shown different things that fathers in hip hop can do. For one, when you think of a father and what a father does as far as provide and protect and create opportunities and do things, if you come into a position of like management or artist development or even having a label, if you can implement those fatherly duties into how you deal with your artists, now you're becoming a father in hip hop because you're protecting these artists, you're guiding these artists, and you're preparing a path for these artists to be successful, and you're moving under the pretenses of being a father figure. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see
so
that.
When artists come to me and they ask questions, I want to be that fatherly, you know, figure that says, hey, you don't want to do this because I did that and that didn't work. Now, if you do this and do that, then this can happen for, you know what I mean? And do what a father would do to his own child and be able to give that type of guidance. So I kind of see us shifting in that way with artist development and, you know, providing services for artists to keep them from getting screwed in the game.
Yeah.
So like I said, there's so many different layers that I keep seeing. It's like, where does this go? I think it's going to always evolve, you know, with new ideas and new ways to be a positive impact in hip hop.
Yeah, that'd be sick, because based off of just what I've heard from Flossie over here talk about like contracts and the record labels and deals with them and stuff like that, a lot of young people like seem now in the days like they're kind of getting screwed over by record labels and stuff like that. So that would be like super smart. Like,
now let me ask you a question. Who you said had that conversation with you?
My pops.
your father is schooling you.
Yeah.
Because he has a love for you. He has a purpose in you. You know what I mean? So imagine that being distributed to some of these other young artists that might not have a father with that type of wisdom. So that's what I'm saying. It just become the act of father. And it's an action word, not really just a title. You know what I mean? Being a father requires action.
Yeah. So obviously you've been in the game, you've been, you know, in the music industry for a while. You obviously know Corrupt, have enough connections to get him out. That's a pretty big name and stuff like that. I want to know who are like some other big artists or artists in general that you've given awards to.
Okay. The very first Fathers in Hip Hop Award, when I first started the idea and we did a launch party, as we honored Player Ham from the Penthouse Players Quick. And it was him and Chester Stamps, which is rest in peace, Badass, his father. You know, Chester, I've been around Badass and I always seen his pops there. So I always respected that. Like, man, his pops. And like I said, this was before I even thought of a Fathers in Hip Hop. This is just real life. Like, Badass pops was always with him. Player Ham, he lived not too far from me when I was staying in Rialto, and I always seen him with his sons, the Young Giants. So personally, I had a respect of up close and personal seeing their fatherhood. So those are the first two that came out and got, you know, a Fathers in Hip Hop award. After that, you know, my big homie Cocaine, 8 kids, 1 woman. You know what I mean? Damn. Still there, still down. He's the epitome of a father in hip hop to me. And so, you know, we got to honor him. We honored Weasel Lope, you know what I'm saying, from the Pomona City Riders, or the Dirty OGs, you know what I mean? I Compton AV, I brought my boy out. I was running a club in Victorville. And see, I used the clubs and the events as a table to be able to set up for the award. Mm-hmm. Same thing with Desert Jam. We threw a big concert, right? But my whole objective and agenda was to honor Corrupt with a Fathers in Hip Hop award. So I'll book the artists that I want to
give it to.
You know what I mean? We got KK from Second to None. He got honored. Sugar Free got honored. KRS-One, he got a Fathers in Hip Hop award. I'm trying to look through the pictures in my head because there's so many of them that we've been blessed to be able to do. My boy Big to the Boy, the homie Don Dub, you know, from bigger names to independent names to just men. You know, when we did our Thanksgiving event last year, we honored the superintendent of the high school district. We honored the mayor of Adelanto. We honored Pastor David Denson, who has one of the biggest church. Man, you know, hey, the mayor's a father, and he's in my contact list, and you know, I'm pretty active in my area, so you know, getting him was like I was dealing with him before he was the mayor. You know what I mean? He had sponsored a couple of my skating events through his financial company before he even ran for mayor. So once he got the mayor seat, it's like, okay, he was like, what's up, Justified? You know what I mean? So shout out to the mayor, Gabriel Reyes, out there in Adelanto. It's a lot. Havoc from South Central Cartel. We got him with an award. Frank Nitty, we blessed him, and this was before he had his latest child, Unity. But we honored him with the award that we gave him was for his participation in blues career. He's Young Gritty now, but he was that mentor. So we gave him like a mentorship award because of the work that he was doing with Young Gritty at that time, and so. It's been a lot. Like I said, Chili Chill from the Lynch Mob, Spice One, Big Hutch from Above the Law. It could go on and on. I have to send you the photos or something to put in the edit. But it's been a lot of brothers that I've been able to bring out. We did 100 men at one event in Adelanto last year. We did a Thanksgiving giveaway concert. It was called Blessed in the Mess Thanksgiving giveaway concert. And for some crazy reason, I'm like, we're going to honor 100 men. And everybody kept saying, what's the 100 about? I was like, I don't know. It's a statement. You know what I mean? Like, they don't think we out here. We gonna show 100 of them all at once. You know what I mean? And I got to honor my CEO that gave me an opportunity back in 2000 that put my first record out. G-Man, Greg Jeter. I remember him bringing his kids to the studio. I remember him letting me sleep in his son's bed when me and my baby mama was into it. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you know, so I try to recall the fathers. Did you give Flavor Flav an award? I haven't linked with Flavor Flav. The closest I got to Flav is shout out to my boy, Mr. Chalk. He wore a Fathers in Hip Hop hat on Flavor Flav's podcast. So that's as close as I got to the Flavor man. But, you know, it's something that started with celebrities, but then it's just more like, I used to think when I first started Fathers in Hip Hop, I said, I'm going to need these endorsements. I'm going to need these bigger artists to rock with me to get where I'm trying to go. And I still feel that in a way.
Yeah.
But then it came on my heart and in my mind that there's nothing bigger than the topic of fatherhood. So I'm not just to wait for these Hollywood niggas to tap in. Just to go honor the mayor. And you know what I'm saying? And just regular men in the community. You don't gotta be a celebrity to be a good father. Yeah. It helps. And the reason I want the influence is because a lot of us older, and especially these new dudes now, but a lot of the ones that started this gangster shit, we influenced a lot. Drugs, guns, pimping, whole lot of stuff that didn't put our communities in a good place. And the influence that they had over the young community influence that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, now these same dudes is now fathers and family men. I feel that they owe it to the listener, to the community, to say, hey, when I was a child, I did as a child. I thought like a child. But now I'm a grown-ass man and I'm taking care of my kids and my family and put the guns down. And you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I feel like us older cats in the game, that's our responsibility to reach back out and right some of the wrongs that we influenced and tell the truth about what's really going on. Because a lot of these dudes that scream the most gangsterous stuff, they kids in private school and living up in the hills chilling. But they out here pushing an agenda that's killing our community. And I ain't knocking what they do. I ain't judging nobody. I'm just keeping it 1,000. If we can influence that, we damn sure can influence these youngsters to take care of their kids. And maybe they don't have to join a gang. And maybe they ain't going to have to sell no dope.
Yeah.
Because they had a father showing them something different. So it's accountability. That's all.
Yeah. And it's the way that like the OGs and stuff that were like rapping about the gangster stuff. I feel like it only like makes sense that they do that because like you said, they're getting off that persona that like, oh, this is what was cool. This is what made us rich and stuff like that. But I feel like what the youngins don't realize is like, they only rapped about that stuff because that's what they were living. That's what they had to do to like survive. But you know, you don't have to do that now that they made it just because they make it seem cool.
Right.
It wasn't always like cool.
We always become products of our environments, and what's going on around us affects us. But social media and media in general has such an influence on what's going on.
Yeah.
So if we can say, hey, if we were successful at pushing this, we can be successful at pushing this, and this is gonna change some things in a positive way. You know what I mean? If you got more young men understanding what fatherhood is, if they understand that they're not ready for that, they might want to strap up or keep it in their pants. You know what I mean? And not take that on versus when every rapper's talking about fuck these bitches and wah. It's like, nigga, I bust nuts in these hoes and walk away. You know what I mean? So, we just want to change the narrative and put something different. We won't be able to reach everybody all at once, but if each one reach another one and another one, then we can have some type of impact on the community and the community of the world. You feel me? If we get more people, trying to be positive and do something. And it ain't about being a square. It ain't about being soft. It's about being a real man, because ain't no hood like fatherhood.
Yes, sir.
Bang, bang.
Yeah, I mean, it's sick what you're doing. I've seen a lot more recently of like people in the game that have been in there for like a while, like when it started, trying to like switch things up. Like the boy, rest in peace, Gonzo. We had him on the podcast before when he was doing
rest in peace, Gonzo.
When he was doing like the gloves up, guns down, whole movement and stuff like that. He was telling us all about that. Trying to like keep everything out the streets and stuff like that. So it's cool that you trying to do something like that for the kids and stuff like that.
Yeah, and really not even just for the kids, just for the men too, because a lot of these grown men is still child minded.
Yeah,
and when they know better, they might want to do better. So we want to show better.
Yeah, you see the movement and be like, damn, fucking up,
Yeah, it'll make you think. It'll make you. Ain't nothing like being a deadbeat in the middle of a room of people saying, "Where all the fathers at?" And all the men are like, "Yeah." You like the sucker in the middle of the crowd. They're like, "Damn, I gotta go pick my son up. These niggas tripping." So yeah, it's time to make people uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. We've gotten too comfortable doing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? It's too accepted. It's the norm. Wrong is the norm. So you got to put some fire under their seat and make them uncomfortable. Make them really look in the mirror and say, damn, I ain't being a father. And there's many reasons why. It's, you got baby mamas tripping. You got, it's a lot of different variables that take place. in a man being a father or not being a father, but all of it is relevant for conversation, and that's how we can get to some of the solutions and just help build men up to be better men. Period. That's really what it winds down to.
Sure. That's the way it's gotta be. That's the way it should be. But I'm gonna switch the topics a little bit before. I want to talk about you before you were a father and when you were growing up. Where were you raised at?
My father was military, so I was born in Germany. Moved from Germany when I was 1 to LA. Then they moved to Houston. And this is all with his job. My father was a meteorologist. Then he came back to California. We ended up in Cerritos. And then we moved from Cerritos to Compton when I was 11. And they bought a home, in Compton. From renting a house in Cerritos, they bought a home in Compton. And I lived in Compton from 11 to 17. And I've never claimed the born and raised in Compton, but I represent Compton because 11 to 17, that's where I became me.
Yeah.
That's where I did my first everything. You know what I'm saying? First hit of weed, first drank of the 40, first time, hooking up with a little chick, you know what I mean? So Compton had a big influence on my character and who I became. And I can't even say who I was because I often think like, what if my pops and them never would have moved me to Compton? What would my life have been like? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because when we was in Cerritos, I was the cool black kid. You know what I'm saying? Like the best at basketball. You know what I'm saying? I was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air in Cerritos. You know what I'm saying? But when they moved us to Compton, it's like I was the square. You know what I'm saying? They go to Oreo. You know what I mean? And a lot of who I was at that time changed to fit to where I was at. You know what I mean? Peer pressure and, the urge to fit in. You know what I mean? But here's where fatherhood comes in. My father had a tight grip on me. Mm-hmm. So I was only allowed and able to go so far. You feel me? The hood didn't get to suck me all the way in because I had my father who wasn't going for it.
Yeah.
And out of all of the homies that I kicked it with, it was only like 2 or 3 of us that had our pops. You know what I'm saying? And we used to always want to spend the night at the homie house who had the single mom who let us do whatever we wanted to do. You know what I mean? No curfew. We had, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I just thought I'd add that in there. But yeah, Compton. And then after that, my parents moved to the Inland Empire, Rialto. And the rest is, from there, from Rialto to Rancho to San Bernardino to getting a house in Victorville. So yeah, I've been well traveled on the Southern California side, but Compton is something that I've wanted to be. And it took everything in me tonight to not wear the Compton hat. It's in the car. I promise you, it's black and white. I was like, I'm gonna wear fathers and hip hop hat. Because some of the real Compton G's have a tendency to not respect why I claim it. Because I don't got no hood. I ain't from nowhere. I ain't got put on this hood or that hood. I ain't blood or Crip, even though I hang around a whole lot of Crip dudes. You might mistake me for one. But, I've never lived the real narrative of Compton. Yeah. Feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you mean.
But being able to represent it and to be seen in a positive, that's a plus.
Yeah.
I want to be that other side of Compton. I want to be that other thing in Compton that y'all don't think about all the time when you see me. Like, damn, he from Compton? He a father. He's a successful businessman. He never gangbang. He ain't pimping bitches. He ain't a drug lord. Like, there's some good people coming out of Compton. You know what I mean? I want to be the Compton Square. You know what I mean? So I'm always rep Compton because that's how I said so much of myself became that, was there. And I'm thankful for it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Even though I wonder what it would be like if I had stayed in Cerritos. I'll probably be living bossy like Flossie. But yeah, that's that part, bro.
Yeah, that's hard. I respect that for sure. So your pops was in the military. Was he like getting like deployed a lot, or was he more at home?
Well, he retired after I was born. That's why I said I was born in Germany. 1 year old, he retired. He was a weatherman, meteorologist in the military. So right out of the military, the same job that he worked all my life. He just retired last year, I believe it was, during the pandemic. They said, you need to go on and sit down, Mr. Smith. The office is closed and, you know, you go on and enjoy. My pops just turned 80 in February. Shout out to my pops. But yeah, he was always present. You know, he had a job. He worked every day, did his thing, but Pops was very much active. You know what I'm saying? Very much involved the whole ride.
Sir, that's tight.
Oh, yeah. It's a blessing. Super blessing. I imagine like what could be if he had not. You know what I mean? When I was young, I didn't respect or appreciate some of those barriers and borders that he drew out. But becoming a father myself and just becoming an adult myself, I realized, damn, my pops was a G.
Yeah.
And we used to go on vacations. I done been to Hawaii. I done been to Europe. I done been, you know, a lot of places that a lot of other people haven't got to get until they were celebrities. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. This was summer vacation. We're going to England this year, son. You know what I mean? And I want to kick it in the hotel room, watch TV, and my mom's like, nah, boy, you fit to come get this culture. And, you know, you going to the castle, you about to see the queen, you about to do everything that we could do while we out here. And you don't appreciate that till you're older. And I think about taking my kids on trips like, I can't afford to take me and my girls to here. You know what I mean? So our little summer trip to Texas to see my pops every year got me feeling like a baller. You know what I'm saying? One day I'm going to be able to take them over the seas and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. But the same way that you're saying, like, you don't understand until you're older, you know, like, they'll probably look back and be like, damn, remember them times we used to go back to Texas? Mm-hmm. Like, it all works out like the same way and stuff like that.
A lot of, you know, some kids have never been on a plane. Some kids have never left, the radius of their community. I mean, I can't imagine it, but it's really some folks. Like, it's some people in Victorville that ain't never been to L.A.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You know what I mean? So you got to count your blessings when you got them.
Yeah, for sure.
And sometimes them blessings, you don't even know they're blessings till you get up, get down the road.
Yeah. So at what point did like music start becoming like a thing for you that you wanted to do?
I started rapping when I was like 12. And that's in Compton. Being out at the basketball court and everybody freestyling and, and rapping and shit. I wanted to get down too, you know what I mean? And that's why I first kind of fell in love with it. And sometimes it might be embarrassing to say, but I'm like really not a big like hip hop historian. Like I've never just been all fanned out.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying? Yeah. It's like I was just made to be who and what I am.
Yeah.
That was a gift I had. It wasn't because this person did it. It was what was going on around me. And I had the gift of writing. The homie used to be like, write me a verse, write me a verse. So, you know what I mean? We used to record on the karaoke, switching the tape out. You got the instrumental over here, and we did it like that. And then I got blessed. My cousins in the Bay, I was running away from some trouble in LA and ran away to San Francisco on the bus, not knowing what was going to happen. But ended up connecting with my mom's aunt and her sons, and they had a studio and they had a band. They used to perform at the clubs, playing top 40 cover hits. And I was a roadie. I carried their equipment in and helped them set up. Yeah. And they seen that I could rap, and they gave me some opportunities and recorded my first demos. And and then that road it's always been available to me. You know what I mean? A lot of cats, now it's easy to be in the studio.
Yeah.
Because you just computer, everybody got a studio. But back then, like you really had to be connected some way to get in the actual studio, with reels and DAT tapes and stuff like that at that time. So those opportunities were presented to me early, and I've always had access to studios. I've always, this hip hop, this rap career, this music, whatever you want to call it, has been laid out in front of me. And I just had to follow the path and stay wanting it. Stay, you seek and you'll find. So, I've put out like 18 underground, independent records. Started really pushing my stuff out the trunk. Got the deal with Deep in the Game. G-Man, he came and put hundreds of $1,000s behind me, really built my name, put E40 on my album. Rest in Peace, KMG was on my first album. Cocaine, Badass, Spice One. He invested in the features and, gave me recognition in my name as being justified. You know what I mean? And when that went left, I still continued. And I was like, I know how to make records. You know what I mean? So I just stayed at the same studio, the same engineer and producer had love for me. Like, man, just because you ain't with them don't mean I ain't messing with you. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I did my first, album by myself and then just out the trunk and just drop something new every year, just out the trunk. You know what I mean? Straight, 100 copies a week, hand-to-hand combat, paying bills with it. You know what I mean? And that's really how I got started. And then I learned the business of promoting and events. I'm like, that's where the bread's at. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So, it's a game where you just go and learn as you move and apply the lessons that you learn. And I'm still learning. I'm still applying. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
if you ain't learning, you ain't doing something right.
Yeah. And you got to be able to be taught.
Yeah, for sure.
You can't think you know it all, because I know for a fact I don't know it all. And I'm able to identify what I don't know. I know my weaknesses. And I have to have enough wisdom to be able to not only identify my weaknesses, but relate them to the people that carry that strength and say, man, I need help. I got $1 million idea. I got this part, I got that part, but I don't know how to do this. Can you help? You can't be afraid to ask for help. And I'm just now really trying to apply that lesson, because I never wanted to ask for help, because I didn't want to be told no, or I didn't want to be brushed off, or I didn't want to be looked at like the bugaboo in the room. You know what I mean? I got a lot of people's numbers from over the years that I meet and never call. I just, you know what I mean? I don't want to be another, oh, shit. You know what I'm saying? I didn't want to be that guy.
Yeah.
But so I built up my own little respect to where now some of these dudes call me and I feel good about it. You know what I mean? And just keep smashing.
Yeah, that's what's up. Growing up in like Compton in the teenagers and stuff like that, were there like a lot of people, a lot of kids trying to become rappers, like for real, or were they just kind of like messing around freestyling?
For the most part, I think it was a lot of, freestyling and just doing it because it was something to do. For one, the opportunity wasn't as great. Mm-hmm. Like I said, we was recording on the karaoke machine. We wasn't going to no studios. You know what I mean? There wasn't no studios around that we knew about to have access to. So, like I said, it happened to be in my path. I ran away from home all the way to the Bay. I'm in San Francisco and call back home like, hey, I'm out here. I'm into some trouble. I don't know what I'm going to do. And end up getting directed to my aunt. I didn't know I had an aunt and cousins in San Francisco. You know what I mean? And they had a 24-track recording studio in their garage. You feel what I'm saying? And we're performing. And they used to let me, when I carry the guitars and the boxes to the clubs with them, they'd be performing This Is How We Do It by Montel Jordan, right? Yeah. And, he'd be rapping on there a little bit. They let me get the mic, you know what I mean? And I get up there and start freestyling to This Is How We Do It and then they play Just Like Candy by Cameo. And I'm like, oh, Pac had a song to that beat. And so, anything that they play live that I could catch the beat to and rap to, they let me get up there and do a little something with them. So I really felt like I've been led to what I do. It wasn't something that I really had to look too hard for. And music, basically, it gave me a purpose in life. You know what I mean? And my path was there. Like, I had people that believed in me, that put up money to get me in studios and put me on, you know what I mean? So I feel blessed, because not everybody, has a support system or even just their destiny, made out for this. And this is just my path. This is what I'm supposed to be doing. That's why I've been able to be in it 20 plus years. And even though I haven't got like the fortune, fame, and wealth, but to be able to stay relevant and to maneuver in the game and have opportunities still present themselves as a blessing. You know what I mean? That I could still make something happen.
Yeah. And I feel like sometimes it's like, yeah, you want like fortune, fame, and all that, but like sometimes you don't get all of them. I feel like a lot of people only get like one of them. You're either famous, you got all the money. Because I know, take in terms for like my pop's example, my pops is a really like important person in the music industry game. He's been in it since it started in hip hop, before it was all even called rap. And like, it's funny. A lot of people on the internet he'll post something talking about like rappers now or old school stuff. And they'll just like look at him saying like, yo, like, what are you talking about? You don't know what you're talking about and stuff like that. But little do people know, like, he in the game, people know who he is. He just is not like the face of what, the internet,
Exactly.
what the public needs to see.
There's more people that you won't recognize that are more pivotal in this game than a lot of the faces that you do see. And that's one thing that I always understood, from being at events and backstage. I ain't trying to meet this dude. I'm trying to meet who's behind him.
Yeah.
I'm trying to meet who's pulling these strings and making things happen.
Yeah. Behind everyone who's making the money, somebody's helping make that money.
Right. And the celebrity, you're in most cases, you're a competition to another artist. They're not about to help put you on.
Yeah.
So while you trying to get this dude number and take pictures with this dude and direct message this dude, man, he's an artist. He's trying to survive. He's trying to eat. He's not going to take you to his investor because it might be a chance that the investor like you more and now they want to invest enough. Even though that investor might have enough to invest in both of y'all, it's that.
Yeah.
So I've never really tried to build like hella relationships with artists. I know them, we're cool, and I keep it at that. Me expecting them to do anything for me to help my career, I don't expect that because a lot of them aren't even in a position to do it.
Yeah.
It's that management. It's that team that's working in the back that you want to connect to, that you want to get lessons and jewels from. They might not even do it for you, but they might share some information to tell you what you need to do. So it's definitely the people behind the scene is where the money flows. You know what I mean? And it's the celebrities. They cool. They get theirs, but they the last to get paid.
Yeah.
That team behind them got the check to cut them their check. So I want to connect with them. I want to connect with the movers and shakers that make things happen because that's what I want to be.
Yeah.
I want to be in a position to help others get the knowledge and wisdom that I have. Like, again, that fatherly counsel, you know what I mean? And everybody in the game ain't gonna treat you fatherly. There's some snakes that'll be like the streets and break you down, you know what I mean? So you gotta be careful of who you latch to because there's some folks that'll drive you in the wrong direction on purpose.
Yeah, for sure.
Just about living and learning and taking shit as it comes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And learning something every step of the way.
Yeah. And kind of like you would kind of be like one of those people like undercover before you were coming up being like the rapper and stuff like that. But now you're like the homie that's setting everything up, setting up all the events and stuff like that. You said you're the promoter now and stuff. So do you like, are you funding these events like by yourselves or do you have like other people helping out?
I'm blessed right now. Like I did it by myself for so long. You know what I mean? And from throwing, small showcases and really learning what the do's and the don'ts and just trial and error for myself for a long time. And here in the last few years, I got blessed with a partner, you know what I mean? My boy Lorenzo Morgan, he reached out. He was doing the same thing on a bigger level with a bigger budget, doing his thing. And, he saw what I was doing at a particular venue out there and he got at me and was like, hey, I want to help. I want to we could do this together. You know what I mean? So we started investing together in doing certain events. And then in 2020, my boy Dion, he jumped in and he's who we started doing the Desert Jam Music Festival with because he was in Lancaster. Lancaster was his backyard. Mm-hmm. So he's like, man, if we bring it out here, we could get it cracking. And whoop, whoop, whoop. So the three of us came together and we formed our company, Group Economics. And so Group Economics has done the Desert Jam Music Festival the last 2 years. And we're still, we're all our own entities to do what we do, but we understand that when we come together, we can do bigger things. You know what I mean? So Desert Jam is going to be a yearly event that we do, and we'll always do that together. If it's not all three of us, then it ain't the Desert Jam because that's something that we created together. You know what I mean? So shout out to Dion and Mr. Morgan. They with me on Group Economics. So I have a team that we work together to do bigger situations while we all still handle our individual businesses. Dion got a clothing line he pushes. Mr. Morgan has a group that he manages. Me, I got just Justified Music. So it's like I want to do some events. Now I bring it to them. Like, hey, I'm about to do this. Y'all with me? And they have the right to say, I'm with you or I'm not. And I still have the right to do it if I have to do it alone.
Yeah.
But a lot of the stuff that I come up with kind of makes sense, and they say they with me.
Yeah.
But we all understand that it's not gonna stop. If y'all say you ain't with it, don't mean I'm not gonna do it.
Yeah.
Because I've been working by myself for so long that I can't ever get too comfortable depending. And I depend on my guys. They got my back, so I don't want that to get taken wrong. But I still know no matter what, I got to do what I got to do to keep moving, whether they agree with what I want to do or not. But for the most part, everything that, we've kind of discussed doing, we do it together. So that's the good thing. But I let them know, hey, I'm just running it by you first, brother, but I'm about to do this. Is you with me?
Yeah.
And either they have that right to say, nah, I ain't feeling that. You know what I mean? And I ain't going to feel no way about it. Just figure it out. You know what I mean?
That's sick. That's sick.
But shout out Group Economics, man. We, 1 plus 1 plus 1 is 3. You know what I mean? So if he got a couple dollars, I got a couple dollars, we all put it together, we're more powerful. We, the slogan, teamwork makes the dream work. Group Economics, you know what I'm saying? We putting it all together to reach the same goal.
Yeah, that's hard. Hey, it seems like, brother, but what you told us right now, it seems like you on the come up quick right now. Put some years into work, but hey, it's finally coming up right now, bro. It's hype to see.
Yeah, I think anything that you never give up on is eventually gonna, pan out.
Yeah.
And to be able to sustain, like I said, it's just, let's reckon it to a freeway. And you got all these cats that's driving. And you just keep going. Some niggas pulling over on the side of the road, they ran out of gas. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or the car broke down or something, but I'm still on the road. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'm still driving, and I got partners around me that's pitching in on the tank. So we keep moving together. You know what I mean? And yeah, man, we either like what 50 said, I'm gonna get it or die trying. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Before I go to that upper room, and we're like, hey, he didn't give up. Yeah, he didn't stop. Yeah. So I'm either gonna make it or die trying, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Mm-hmm. So what are like your goals for like, say, the next year for Fathers in Hip Hop? What places you trying to take it to? What other people you trying to get involved? Size of events, the number of events.
Right. I'm trying to really organize the nonprofit side of it right now. Shout out to the homegirl Sharmila. She been, doing research and plugging in stuff for me to help me better understand the power of the nonprofit and what's out there available to us. So I see that, really coming together before the end of the year to be in position to go get the grants, to go get the help, to be a help. You know what I mean? So I definitely see that. With the Fathers in Hip Hop Awards, I really want to make that something that's recognized, on a BET award level, on an MTV Music Award level, but the Fathers in Hip Hop Award show. You know what I mean? Yeah. To where we honoring E40 and Ice Cube and Master P and Snoop Dogg and these bigger iconic legends in the game that also represent fatherhood, and be able to celebrate that in a big way. So it's about connecting dots, resources, of course, investment. And because the dollar can make anything happen in this game. Yep. You got the right amount, you can make it happen. So
yep.
That's something I really want to do. And that's more on the entertainment event side of things. But more than that, I just want to get myself in the best position possible to continue being a father to my kids.
Yeah.
And build something that I can leave behind, because we ain't gonna be here forever, and I can't take it with me. So I need to establish something that I can leave, for my daughters to be good. I already know what it was like, when they lost their mom. It's like no life insurance, it wasn't nothing left behind from that. You feel what I'm saying? So now I'm all they got. So if I go and don't leave nothing, then what's that do for them? You feel me? So I got to make sure that I stay diligent in my search and build something that they can, hold on to when I'm not here. Because tomorrow ain't promised. We all gonna go to the upper room one day.
Yes, sir. That sounds like great plans. I think that would be good imagine if it could get like to the BET type of level awards, because for one, That's sick as fuck. Like big company like that, televised and stuff like that. And then also like I feel like it would spread the word a lot more, you know, for artists that are our fathers to be more like of a real father and stuff like that. Seeing that like, damn, these big OGs, they're big gangster, but they're getting this award because they took care of their kids.
Yeah, and then they coming out on stage with their whole family. Yeah. You know what I mean? All their kids. And I was reading up on Busta Rhymes. Shout out to Busta Rhymes. He's got 5 children and they've all, you know, graduated college and all are doing well. So it's like his fatherhood was something. He provided a life that accommodated those goals to be reached. You know what I mean? So he need to be saluted. And I'm trying to get in a position to salute that dude. They're going to be out in Atlanta at this one big concert. And that's what I do. When I'm looking and I see, oh, this event is coming up, I'll be like, who's on it? What they fatherhood like? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because if I do some Googling on their fatherhood and they're outstanding fathers and they proud fathers, I want to say thank you. I want to give them an award. You know what I mean? I want to honor them. Does it help my brand? Yes, it does. It's business. Right? But yeah. But what's wrong with that? I'm still pushing the agenda to highlight fathers. Yeah. And would giving Busta Rhymes a Fathers in Hip Hop Award add value to my brand? It most definitely would. Yep. But the fact of the matter is, it's about fatherhood. Yeah. Because I could go do anything to get a name. So if I'm going to chase clout, I'd rather be doing something that's going to build our community up and make men better all around the world than, you know, doing some other weird shit. You know what I mean? So, you know, never get it twisted to be business, but it's business from the heart. It's business that's built on a solid foundation of something with substance. You know what I mean? It's not a gimmick. This is my testimony from understanding fatherhood, from being a single father with 2 girls. You know what I mean? So it's close to me. I get teary-eyed sometimes in certain segments talking about it because it's that real to me. Now, I say I took my pain and converted it into the passion to pursue my purpose. Feel what I'm saying? It was built in pain, but I had to push through that. And I had to turn it into something that was going to help me move towards my purpose. And my purpose is making sure my kids going to be good. So that's this Fathers in Hip Hop movement. And that's the passion. And we're going to keep mashing till we get it. You know what I mean? Yes, whether these celebrity niggas fuck with me or not, we going to make it happen. Fatherhood ain't no hood like it.
Yes, sir. So if people want to like, check out your stuff, see what you're doing, what should they look up on IG, YouTube? I know you was talking about Facebook earlier.
Yeah, you know, everything is Fathers in Hip Hop. Our Instagram is Fathers in Hip Hop. Facebook like page is Fathers in Hip Hop. I got fathersinhiphop.com. We're now building fathersinhiphop.org because of the nonprofit situation that we're going to be, you know, moving into a .org and setting that up to be able to help. You know, I ain't even mentioned how we bless the fathers. You know, we do our Walmart gift card giveaways. I reach out to our Facebook following Instagram followers, and, you know, we do the Bless the Mess and, you know, send your donation to Fathers in Hip Hop on Cash App. We take all the money once we're at our date of completion. We take whatever was been raised and we go to Walmart and we buy $50, $100 gift cards, and we just walk through the store and randomly bless the fathers that we see shopping. Oh, you got a kid in your cart, I'm going to walk up on you and be like, hey, that's your baby? A lot of dudes be like, yeah, nigga, what you? If you ready to get down, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, nigga, this my son. What's up? I'm like, nah, man, my name's Justified. I just want to bless you for being a father, man. Here go a gift card. So we want to build a system to support and bless fathers. And I try to tell them, it's not about poverty. It's not about me feeling sorry for you or thinking that you need it. No, we're giving it to you because I feel like you deserve it. Like, you out here shopping with your kids, you handling your business. Here go a blessing. That's how God works. God don't only bless the less fortunate. God doesn't only bless the homeless. God doesn't only bless the poor. He rewards the righteous and the faithful. So the men that are being righteous and faithful to their fatherhood, they deserve to be blessed too. Why they can't get blessed? Yeah. You ain't got to be broke to get blessed. If anybody want to bless me, no, I'm just playing. But yeah, you know, you ain't got to be poor to get blessed, man. So while we do try to look out for fathers that need help, that's really not my passion is to award and honor and acknowledge those that is doing the right thing. Hey, here go $100 on your shopping cart, man. Go on, get the baby some, some extra stuff because you're doing that. Whether you got it or not, it's a blessing. It's a blessing, period.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing for sure.
Yes, sir.
But hey, I appreciate you coming through. I know you drove probably a pretty long ways to get here.
Man, nothing but an hour, 20 minutes, but it's all good. Nah, it was worth it. I was, what your pops had been told me he was going to have me come down. And, when he mentioned it before, I said, hey, when you got time, I'm going to make time. And when he called me, it was a no-brainer. Like, I'm on the freeway, brother. I'll be there. That's how my life is, man. Is you got to expect the unexpected and be ready. If you stay ready, you ain't got to get ready. I say,
yes,
I didn't want to hit him with, oh, man, it's kind of short note. Nah, nigga, I'll be there. Let me make sure the girls is good. My baby had practice. You know what I'm saying? I had time to drop her off, but I knew she was going to need her. I made sure she was going to have a ride home from cheer practice. And once that was, I'm like, I'm good. I got a ride for her. I'll be there. So I'm thankful for the invite, brother.
Sure. I for sure appreciate it. I'm trying to make the next hip hop. Fathers in hip hop. Trying to make the next event because last time was pretty cool. I know we didn't get to be able to like stay the whole time because we had another event to go to. And
when I was driving, I know bullshit, bro. When I was driving here, and I'm like, okay, it's far, but it's really not.
Yeah, not too far.
But I thought about y'all drive from here to Lancaster. No, for real. And I honestly, I was thinking this while I was driving here. And I was like, I got to respect that. Like, dude didn't have to come.
Yeah.
But he made a conscious decision to come. And he drove about 2 hours to do it. Like, that meant, you know what I mean? I appreciate that. Like, because he didn't have to. And there's a lot of cats that don't come because they're, oh, it's too far. But, I'm sure there's a million other things that Flossie the boss could be doing, you know what I'm saying, with his time.
Yeah.
But he came out and he brought you with him. And man, those things like that, those sacrifices mean something to me. You know what I mean? Because it's a conscious choice to do something that you didn't have to do. So how can I say I can't drive you know what I mean, to come do the podcast? Shit, I'm on my way. So I'm glad y'all let me come, brother. Sure.
Yes. I'm sure we could talk forever about all this,
Say that for part 2, season 2.
Yeah. Hey, y'all comment down if y'all want to see a part 2 because we could run it back real quick. Let us know if you want to talk about something, talk about specific things about fathers, hip hop and stuff like that. But other than that, make sure you guys check it out. It's a really sick movement, sick brand.
Bang,
you see him repping it right here. Got the t-shirts on the table right here.
I brought you in your pops one.
Yes, sir.
He said a medium and a large. So, I know Flossie be crippin', so I brought him the blue. You know what I'm saying? He stay gangstered up. You know what I'm saying? But
yes, I
definitely wanted to rock y'all the shirts for the brand, man. And you know what I'm saying? I'm sure you'll wear it with pride. Y'all gonna have to match one day, wear it together.
The next event we'll pull up with them on.
Yeah, father and son in hip hop.
Yes, sir.
It is there.
Other than that, appreciate you coming through. It's been another episode of the Prodcast with Prodigy, featuring my boy, and we're gonna sign out right now.
Bang bang.
Later.
It's the Prodcast with the Prodigy. It's the Prodcast with the Prodigy. It's the Prodcast with the Prodigy. My podcast.